After Jesse Marsch's failure to replicate the success of Marcelo Bielsa at Leeds United, Leeds currently sit in the thick of a relegation battle without a manager. But due to some of the young, exciting talent in their squad at current, they have decided to do something crazy. Instead of getting a stopgap manager who will simply keep them in the Premier League, they've decided to entrust a young, unproven American with the task of rebuilding the culture here at Leeds United. So, today, we take over the job of Leeds United in hope of bringing life back to Elland Road. Alright, so what I've done here is I've simulated all the way until January. We are currently at January 1st. So, summer transfer window was turned off. We haven't signed any players, we haven't played any games, nothing like that. Barely even had a look at the squad. We currently sit in 14th place. So a lot better than Leeds were doing at this point in real life. 8 points off the drop, so not too worried about relegation. And the goal is simply just to avoid relegation in this season and then go from there. Not many signings will be made in January, but there are a couple of key ones that I'll get to in a moment. First, let me show you our youth academy. So here's the youth academy. This guy right here, Teddy Collier, is the only player that I've actually signed. The other two, Kong Du and Jacob Gold, are players that were already preset into the youth academy. I think I'm going to go ahead and promote Jacob Gold right now. I was looking at the numbers, and Jack Harrison as a cam has been horrible, so we could certainly use somebody in that position. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's just promote him right now, because it is January after all. But, yep, there's your youth academy. So, just very briefly touching on the youth academy again. Obviously, Leeds' youth academy in real life hasn't exactly been a prosperous one in recent years, so we're not going to put in like 5-star youth scouts. For now, we're just going to stick with this 4-star that the game has preset for us, and we maybe have a bigger focus on that later down the line, but for now, not really a massive concern. It's only something that we're just going to have kind of in the back burner while we focus on keeping Leeds in the Premier League. The first and only signing of January that we would make was Kai Wagner, a 25-year-old 76 overall left back from the MLS, a German left back. He's been rumored to come back to Europe for quite a while now, so we'll be the ones to do it, and he joins just in time to get our first game in. First game of the highlights package came at Elland Road in the FA Cup against Blackburn Rovers. Very briefly, did want to touch on how things are going to work in the career mode, specifically the transfer market. Of course, Leeds United are not operating on a very large budget in real life. They only really make major signings after major sales, so we will try to replicate that here in this career mode. And then, of course, once we're in European competitions, we will reassess and then probably be a much bigger player in the transfer market. But here, Gold gets a golden opportunity, no pun intended, to score a debut goal fresh out of the academy. Unfortunately, is unable to make the chance count. And then Gold, involved in the play again, finds Reuter here, and this really should have been a goal. 2 chances in a row that we do miss. Blackburn Rovers down at the other end, though, they would make their opportunity count as Dak, with some beautiful footwork here, lays it off to his men. Morton would then find Travis, who would lay it off to Ryan Hedges. Lovely worked goal here for Blackburn Rovers, and they would take a shock 1-0 lead here at Elland Road. Not what the fans were hoping for. Second half, though, we would find the leveler here as Nyonto drives the ball through midfield and plays a lovely pass through 2 defenders. Brendan Aronson providing the finish. We are back on level terms. And then from there, the game was much more open. They were giving us a lot of space in midfield areas, really just sitting off of men on the ball here. So we took advantage of that as Gold finds his opportunity in the box, but is unable to provide the finish. Although he didn't score, I thought Gold had a very good debut all around, as another debut man here, Kai Wagner, plays a beautiful pass into Reuter, and he would find the back of the net, and we would take that 2-1 lead home, and that's how the game would finish. 2-1 to Leeds United at Elland Road. The result you would expect. We are on to the next round of the FA Cup. Next game came at Leicester City in the King Power Stadium. Speaking of Leicester City, the referees in the Premier League, it's just been absolutely abysmal. Another missed call in this game, a terrible game, a terrible weekend for games in general. Just all of the games really lacked quality. But the referees in the Premier League, they need to have a discussion either during the next international break or going into next season about how they are going to conduct themselves with VAR. Because for the richest league in the world, the most popular league in the world, to be getting these calls wrong, a handful of them, every single weekend, is just simply abysmal. It's never touch and go like, oh, this could have been, a different call or blah, blah, blah. It's always just them getting the decision completely wrong, and it's unforgivable. But we would find ourselves an early advantage here against Leicester City. Rodrigo fed in behind from Koch. Beautiful through ball there, and we take the early advantage. We weren't done there, though, in the first half. Barnes getting his opportunity here, goes completely around Robin Koch, but Pascal Struijk, with a beautiful bit of defending here, does clear the ball out for a corner. Lovely little slide tackle there. Tyler Adams, though, winning the ball back in midfield. Rodrigo finds McKennie. McKennie finds it out to Sinisterra, takes a nice touch into Rodrigo, and Rodrigo is never going to miss from there. We take a 2-0 advantage into the halftime break. And the first chance of the second half would come to us as well. Christensen playing a beautiful 1-2 here with Weston McKennie, but the finish is, severely lacking. It was a really, really poor effort there from Weston McKennie. Leicester City, though, would not lie down. Another beautiful tackle here, this time from Robin Koch, saves us from what certainly would have been a goal. But Leicester City would not lie down, like I said. They eventually do find themselves a goal from a brilliant finish here from Harvey Barnes, and things started to look a little bit shaky for us. They made it 2-1, and then all of a sudden the game just opened itself up. It was pretty open from the beginning, but it really, really found a new level as Rodrigo has his shots well saved from Danny Ward there. Leicester City would get a really good opportunity here to draw the game level, but Meslier does really well to get low down to his left and save the opportunity. Final chance of the game here would come to Gold. He does really, really well to beat his man here and is very unlucky that the finish was only able to find the outside of the post. Final score at the King Power, 2-1 to Leeds United, and we get off to a second win here in Play Games. Next game, back at home here, again, I was away again at St. James's Park against Newcastle, who in real life, unfortunately, did lose the EFL Cup final, but they've really, really been impressing. A lot of results have not been going their way, and it's been very unfortunate because in most of the games that they play, they do look like the better team. I think Manchester United probably did deserve to win the EFL Cup final, but Newcastle United, were not out of it. They did provide some very good chances there. I thought St. Maximin looked like a threat for most of the game, but just really lacking that finishing touch. Congratulations to Eric Ten Hag and his men. First chance of the game would come to Louis Sinisterra, just trying to replicate the Flying Dutchman there. Just a very poor job of it, though. And we would get the second chance of the game as well. Jack Harrison does very well to find Gnonto in the box there, but Nick Pope makes a very, very good save there off the deflection. Here, though, Louis Sinisterra plays a beautiful ball into Rodrigo, and honestly, Nick Pope has to be doing much better there. He starts to save it with his foot, which would have been the correct decision there, but then decides to dive down and doesn't get down in time for it. We take the 1-0 lead, and it was all Leeds United in this game from start to finish. Rodrigo here, you know he's never going to miss in a 1v1. We take the 2-0 lead, and that is how things would level themselves out going into the halftime break. And then, of course, the first chance of the second half, right from kickoff, would come from Louis Sinisterra here. Does so well. He beats about 3 men here. Sorry for the screen glitch there. And he finds Weston McKennie, who provides the finish. But this one was all about the assist. Wonderful bit of play there from Louis Sinisterra. We were not done there, though. Newcastle United just left themselves way too open. Some really poor defending. Unorganized press. I'm not sure what Fabian Schär there was doing, but Gnonto gets an easy goal. It is 4-0. I'm sorry, this was at Ellen Road. I'm so sorry, guys. I keep getting that wrong, but St. Maximin plays a beautiful ball through here. Isak with some beautiful footwork does get Newcastle United a consolation goal, but that is all it would prove to be, is a consolation goal. The game would finish at 4-1, and that is 3 wins from 3. We are flying up the table here, looking very, very good to stay in the Premier League. I did want to show you some of the final transfers around the world. Obviously, we will not be in here for some of the larger transfers just yet. Mostly throughout the career mode, probably going to be from players that we are selling and then looking to reassess the squad after some major sales. I thought Mikel Moreno to Liverpool was a really interesting one. I can see it happening in real life, and it could make a ton of sense. A very under-the-radar central midfielder and a very, very consistent one at that. Very versatile. And then we take a look here at the final position for us in the Premier League. Manchester United currently leading the race for the title as Aston Villa find themselves in second place with a shout for the title. We sit currently in 12th. You will see in a moment here we are 11 points clear of relegation. But that will do it here, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hope things can continue in this fashion. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and you all have a beautiful rest of your day.